the interview that your wife, Candace Owens, did with Andrew Tate. I might be wrong on this, I think that might be the first and only successful interview that Andrew Tate's ever had with a woman.
Right.
Is that right? Is Candace the first one?
This reporter you named, who I don't even know who she is, that's how insignificant she is.
Mm-hmm.
People like them can't stand the fact that when he says, grab her by the we're like, so?
I literally couldn't have cared less about that.
So?
Like, this is like locker room talk.
Yeah,
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
I'm like, what do you mean you don't care?
I know that the BBC tried one and it sort of blew up.
It didn't really work that well, yeah.
But Candace gave him a long interview, and I think she was fair with him. Do you think Andrew was maybe a little softer or less on his guard because he was being interviewed by a woman, by Candace?
No, I didn't think so.
No?
I mean, I think that he was just as forceful and powerful as he ever is. I think he respects, I mean, look, I'm speaking for him here, and I'm certainly willing for him to correct me on this, but I definitely perceived it as a match kind of equals in some ways. Like, somebody who is very powerful in his own right, has got an incredible following, has built his own career, has built his own following. And Candace, as somebody who, again, built her own following, came from nothing, has got a similar life story in many ways to what he's kind of achieved. I think that the two of them saw each other as equals, and they were willing to discuss kind of that equality, or discuss topics as equals.
Right.
Whereas I think when the BBC sit down with him, BBC is a very left-wing organization which really has little to no credibility left in many ways. And you look at something like that, and Andrew was just being targeted by them as an individual, and I think he sees something like that and he's like, I'm not your equal. Like, exactly. I'm far more advanced than you in many ways.
Yeah.
Lucy Williamson reports now from Bucharest.
We are doing an interview with you because you're facing some very serious allegations.
Correct.
Rape, human trafficking.
Yep.
And also because there's a great deal of concern about the things you say and the impact that they have on young people, on women.
I don't think the concern's about the things I say. I think the concern is for the level of influence I have and the reach I have.
Let's start with the allegations. Have you raped anybody?
Absolutely not.
Have you trafficked anybody?
Absolutely not.
Exploited any women for money?
Absolutely not.
But you have admitted using emotional manipulation to get women to work in the webcam industry for you.
No. We have an open criminal investigation. I am absolutely not really sure I'll be found innocent. I know the case better than you. I know it intimately and you don't. I have seen all the criminal files and the evidence against me and you haven't. I know the truth of what happened and you don't. And I'm telling you absolutely and utterly, I've never hurt anybody, that the case that's been put against me is completely and utterly fabricated. And I'm never going to be found guilty of anything. And it's very difficult for me to answer your in-depth questions because we're sitting here inside of the territory of Romania. I'm beholden to the Romanian legal system, and I'm not going to incriminate myself.
Let me read you then what you have said about what you have done.
Sure.
You have said, my job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, get her to fall in love with me to the point where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together.
I don't think that's what I personally said. I think
that's exactly what you said on your website.
No, I've never said that. That's something that you found on the internet. Doesn't mean I've said it.
And I became a multi-millionaire. I did this by creating a webcam studio, by taking girls who didn't know how to be effective on webcam, girls who had never done webcam before, girls who didn't have the equipment, didn't have the know-how, didn't have the will, didn't have the premises, didn't have the ability to make money with this exchange. I created a system that allowed me to convince girls to do this, allowed me to retain 100% control of their income, allowed me to make sure they were effective, because it's a super competitive industry. Don't think this is easy money. You're just going to put a girl on the camera and they're going to get rich straight away. No, it's very competitive and it's very difficult. I learned every tip and trick it takes to make sure a girl gets paid. I know how to make sure the girl can't run away. Because once you teach a girl how to do this, she has the ability to make unlimited money from home. Why would she still give it to you? Why does she just run off and keep it all for herself? Why are you getting your percentage? I learned how to do everything to take a nobody and make her a somebody. I learned how to take a nothing, turn her into a cash cow. And betas from all across the world would be sending money into my bank account. This is what webcamming is.
You and Candace went to Romania with Andrew Tate. Candace interviewed Andrew Tate.
Long time.
I know, it's been a very long time.
You've known Andrew Tate for a number of years. You were just with him for that interview.
Yeah, I've known Andrew for many, many years. I've known Andrew since before Andrew was Andrew. You know what I mean? I've known Andrew since before he was famous, I guess. Andrew is a great guy. He really is, and he's a wonderful guy in many ways. Like all humans, he's flawed.
As I was having this dinner with my husband and his friend, Andrew Tate was there. I had no idea who he was. This is kind of before he really took off on the internet. I had my assistant at the time with me, who happened to be Romanian. She's born in Romania, speaks Romanian, happened to have been in the United States. She spent a lot of the time that we were there talking to him. She comes over to me afterwards and she says, this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he's a pimp in Romania.
I used sex as a tool to make women love me so they'd obey me and live in my house and make me money. That's what I wanted. So I was a pimp in that sense.
I said, what? And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania.
They didn't teach you in self-defense? Here's a little move. When I grab you by your neck and you start annoying me trying to resist, and I just, and then I grab you by your neck again. Then what the fuck are you gonna do when your face is collapsed and your fucking cheekbone's broken? You ain't gonna do shit but cry.
I guarantee I changed the way you look at sex forever. You're gonna be fucking crying. I won't cry. I bet you cry, bitch. I bet you fucking cry. You're saying I wouldn't cry. You're challenging me to a fight. You're saying I can't hurt you. You're out of your fucking mind? I don't even have to fuck you. Forget the sex part. That's a distraction. My dick can stay in my pants. I'll just start beating the shit out of you. How about that? We walk in the bedroom. I start kicking your ass. No sex. No sex involved.
The newest one that has emerged is definitely my favorite. That Andrew Tate has blackmail on you. It's just like,
Top G.
where did the Top G's
got blackmail
on you? They're like, this is why. I'm like, what is anybody ever talking about? I can count, I literally think on 5 fingers how many times I've even met Andrew Tate. 2 of them were the times I was interviewing him. Once at the Trump Hotel. I think it's 4. I think the total number is 4. Yeah, it's crazy. And so they think that they've developed this whole thing where like he's known you your whole life and he knows where all the bodies are buried. I'm like, people on the internet are mad, but I love a good conspiracy theory. So I love to read them about myself, especially.
Like, he hasn't told me if he has.
If he does,
Maybe he does.
Andrew Tate.